Ania Game Studios' Pathless Woods is a cozy open-world crafting and survival game influenced by ancient China's heritage. Inspired by Byron's poem Childe Harold's Pilgrimage, Pathless Woods aims to let players find joy in exploring a new world far removed from civilization. As someone who really enjoys the gameplay loop of gathering resources, building a base, and defeating enemies, this immediately appealed to me. Its cute graphics and interesting setting were a huge plus, and I was curious to see how this Chinese studio of two would incorporate it into their debut title. Pathless Woods opens up on a short tutorial teaching players the ropes, from the basic controls, different stats to keep track of, such as hunger and hydration, as well as the crafting system. My favorite part is the resource gathering. You're given the choice between a quick time event, which will help you gather materials more efficiently if executed correctly, or the slower but simpler button press. After going through those 10 minutes of introduction, I was charmed by the world. The art style is really cute and colorful, bringing a certain cozy feel to a genre that can often be quite dark and stressful to me. I was ready for a more relaxed experience that still offered the joys and challenges of exploring a new world. The end of the tutorial brought me back to the title screen, where I was able to choose between starting a single-player or multiplayer world. I got to pick between two different characters, each with their own stats and mechanics, and with the implication that more characters would unlock later. And so I picked the cute girl, obviously, and hopped in. And immediately, I was greeted with an onslaught of information. Any misguided confidence that the tutorial had inspired in me quickly disappearing. Pathless Woods has a pretty busy UI, with numerous windows and trackers that were not explained in the intro. For example, additionally to the health, hunger, and hydration bar, there's also a spirit, physique, nutrition, and digestive power level tracker to keep an eye on. I spent the first bit of my gameplay mostly reading through all the quite wordy instructions. Most of it became pretty clear the more I actually played, though some of the mechanics are still a mystery to me several hours into the game. This is due to some elements of the UI sometimes overlapping, making them difficult to read. One example is the quest tracker on the right, which extends over half the screen whenever you finish one of the goals. There are also some issues with the translation, which makes explanations a bit difficult to follow. The most striking issues, however, are when certain NPCs come across as almost rude due to a poor choice of translation. Despite this, the NPCs I got to meet were cute and quirky, especially Tudigong, based on one of the Chinese deities watching over different locations. Tudigong follows the player through the adventure, giving helpful quests to guide them through what would be best to craft next or where to go. However, players are also given the option to skip quests if they have played before or would rather explore by themselves. While I found most of them to be very useful, a few are best left ignored. For example, the player's task was building a house. I followed the instructions and accidentally built a structure that could compete for the title of the world's most humble abode. As I explored, following Tudigong's instructions, I discovered my favorite feature in Pathless Woods, the ability to add recipes for crafting to the quest log. This might seem like a small quality of life detail, but as someone who often struggles to remember the many resources needed for more complex builds, this came in very handy. There are several types of challenges players can tackle in the world of Pathless Woods, most notably the jar cultists and so-called Luna Wells, a type of shrine guarded by mysterious creatures. I really enjoyed the Luna Wells. While the puzzles are really simple, the rewards they offer are nice, and the gardens are really cool. The first time I saw one in the night sky was a genuinely beautiful moment I wish I could have shared with my friends. The jar cultists are the main enemies in the game, and are strewn throughout several camps in the world. The more camps the player defeats, the more difficult those fights get. I really enjoyed the challenge of facing the jar in different environments, and defeating them will usually offer a series of nice rewards, including NPCs that can join your party. However, the fighting system is a little bit clunky, and the controls confusing, as sometimes the same type of action, for example picking up an object, has mapped to different keys, at times seemingly random. Luckily, the player doesn't get punished too harshly for dying, and so I always felt motivated to keep going and try again. Pathless Woods Early Access was a really fun experience and offered an interesting balance between cozy vibes and interesting survival challenge. The ancient Chinese influence makes this a very unique title, and I'd be really keen to play more in this genre. There are some details that need a bit of polish, such as the translations, UI and controls, to make Pathless Woods truly stand out, but I definitely look forward to trying this with my friends in the future.
Noisy Pixel.